Hello.
You've spoken about how wonderful an experience it was to go to PSG at 17. It must have also been terrifying.
Oh,
You're 17, different
yeah.
language, living in a hotel, I think.
It was for me, it was for my family. So we were in Barcelona, we got the phone calls, you need to do the bags and fly to Paris now. It's like 17 years old, you haven't played any professional football, and you look at those names and said, are they sure? They got the right name. But you get there, and yeah, Luis Fernandez was the manager, he was the one that believed in me. And that's what you need, someone to give you the chance, be surrounded by the right individuals that I was very lucky to have them because they protect me like a son, and it was the perfect environment of me, to give me the chance and see if I was capable of doing, and it was an amazing experience.
How did it work on the pitch with Ronaldinho? Did you ask him to give you the ball and he could do the defending?
Exactly. So no, I had to do all the defense because I had Ronaldinho and Okocha in front of me. So imagine, but it was super. It was almost unreal. It was a dream for me, and I was so blessed, and I had so much energy at that time. I couldn't waste that opportunity. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Dave?
Hi, Mikel. What do you remember about your Champions League debut for PSG, of course, against Milan at San Siro? Just maybe take us to when you're in the tunnel waiting to go out.
No, I was in the tunnel. I was looking. It was Berlusconi, Maldini, Pirlo, Shevchenko. I was looking there. They were all like this. I was like, really? It was going to throw into the lions there, in Rome. But it turned out to be a really good match, and I really enjoyed it. And again, it was an unbelievable night.
And just what Sam mentioned about we all love Ronaldinho, right? He's the reason why a lot of people love football itself.
Yeah.
Can you remember anything, a little story about him, or just anything at all?
Yeah, I shared. We were roommates for a year and a half. But I could not see him like this at the time, obviously. But he was a huge talent. He was coming from Brazil. He didn't have the work permit, so he had to wait for a couple of months. But he's the only player that I've seen in history that he could transform by himself two clubs. He did it in Paris. He transformed it. He went to Barcelona, and one of the worst moments, he transformed it. He had an aura, an energy, a smile on his face that it was impossible to be next to him and be in a bad mood, And then I never seen a talent like this in training, in every drill. It's like, how is this possible? Physically, it's impossible to do certain things. It was unbelievable to play with him, yeah.
What was he like to room with?
It was great, honestly. Again, so much energy, so much fun. Everything was good, never a problem. Great times.
Jordan?
Hi, Mikel. You said also that it ignited something in you to become a manager at PSG. Can you explain how? What happened?
Well, the first one, Luis, because he was a really, really brave manager. To believe in someone so young that never proved it at this level, when your job is at stake, you need something special. And he always talked about that. If you have the opportunity one day to give opportunity to others, you have to do it, And the others were Mauricio Pochettino and Gabriel. And those two were next to me all the time, behind me all the time, and they were like guiding me in everything that I had to do, my professional life, how I have to understand the game, and they were an inspiration for me to become a manager.
And just last season you reached the quarter-final, but you were involved in a really intense title race. It looks like it will be the same this year. Is this squad able and ready to compete on two fronts at the highest stage of football?
This is what we have to prove. Last year we went almost all the way. We came short, so there are other things that we're going to have to do better. We're going to involve as well in the cups much further than we did last year, and that's the next step that we have to make as a team.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mikel. Obviously at PSG you were only 17, which is a very tender age. On a human level, did it teach you in terms of, right now obviously you've got young players like Ethan Winery and other young teenagers, because you were young at that time, is there anything from that experience that you bring to the table now when you're dealing with your young players at Arsenal?
Yeah. Basically what I had and what made that experience successful, and try to provide that, because it's basically what they need, not what I need, is what do the boys need, And the first thing that they need, I think, on top of the manager, is respect of their teammates, that the teammates look at them and say, he's one of our own, and he's going to respond to us. They've got it now, and that's very important. I think the manager has got a responsibility on that in the way that he communicates with that player and the decision he makes, in order for the rest to understand he is one of us, and then they have to shine and go through the experiences and move on.
We've seen obviously the rise of Gabriel, big Gabriel at the back in recent seasons. This year, again, season's only a month or two. It's been a month or two, and he's obviously scored a few corners with his head. What do you make of his rise in terms of off the field and on the field? He seems to keep growing by the year.
Yeah, I think his role in the team, the way he was perceived when he arrived, obviously the language was a barrier. He didn't have the environment, he didn't have the family that he's got today. He's made a lot of right decisions. He's proved everybody how committed he is to the team and to the club. And then obviously performances are undeniable that have taken him to different level in terms of the standard he sets in the team, in the way we have to especially defend.
Okay, we'll go last couple now, Tom.
Hi, Mikel. What was your relationship with Luis Enrique like at Barcelona? Did you speak a lot, or was he one of the ones who was making it difficult for you to get in the team, I guess?
No, well, he could play anywhere. He could play right, left, attacking midfield. He played fullback. I was very young still. I was training with the first team in pre-season and a few times during the year. He was extremely supportive with the young players. He was one of the main characters there. By far, he was one of the captains. So really good memories of him.
I guess when you were sort of doing your coaching badges towards the end of your playing career, that was about the time when he was winning the treble with Barcelona and Messi, and I wonder if he was kind of a bit of an inspiration for you.
For sure.
Did you talk to him at all about coaching and getting into management?
No, it was, and we have a lot of people in common as well, and obviously, I always admire his teams the way, and I say his because you can say all the time that they are very specific on his way of thinking and how he wants to approach football, and to deliver that it's not easy at all, and he's done that in various clubs.
And finally, Mike.
Did you have
And finally,
similar
Mike.
sleeping habits to him?
Sorry?
Did you have similar sleeping habits to Ronaldinho? Same bedtime?
With me, it was always perfect.
And finally, Mike.
Mikel, despite investing heavily in their squad over the years, Paris Saint-Germain haven't won the Champions League yet. Does that show how difficult it is to win this competition when you can invest as heavily as they have and
Yeah.
still not go all the way?
Yeah, for sure, because they've been very close, to be fair, a few times, and the small details are, and what happened last year is a very good reflection of that, especially on the tie against Dortmund. But they certainly have the ability, they have now the experience, and they have the hunger for sure to try to accomplish that, and one day they will do it for sure.
It's not all down to investment. You've got tremendous team spirit here. Have Arsenal got the ingredients to go all the way this year?
Well, that's what certainly we're going to try, but now it's about PSG. We are very, very far from even thinking about or dreaming about that, and let's do the job tomorrow.
Okay, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.